With Fatalis being the highlight of the next title DLC update coming up in Iceborne, many people are looking forward to facing off against the legendary Black Dragon with this particular game. Having said this, however, they might not experience the full package when it comes to Fatalis overall, because there have been a total of 3 Fatalis iterations throughout the entire Monster Hunter series, and today, we are gonna take a look at each and every single one of them just to get a better understanding on their characteristics and what makes them different from one another. Let's go ahead and check them out. Hey everyone, Pinoy X here once again, back with another Monster Hunter video. So today what we're gonna take a look at is basically the 3 iterations of Fatalis throughout Monster Hunter and what makes them different from one another, not just in terms of their physical characteristics and their abilities, but also their overall legend. With the highlight of the final title DLC update in Iceborne being Fatalis, many people want to know more about the legendary Black Dragon in terms of its overall history. So what we are going to take a look at here are the 3 Fatalises, what makes them different from one another, and just how far in their history have they existed throughout Monster Hunter. First up, let's take a look at the regular version of the monster, the OG Black Dragon Fatalis that we are about to face within Monster Hunter World Iceborne. The regular version of Fatalis, simply dubbed as the Black Dragon, is one of the more iconic Elder Dragons out there in terms of its overall physical appearance. This is mostly because of the fact that in terms of Elder Dragon designs, unlike the Elder Dragons that we have seen throughout the Monster Hunter series, which all have unique designs one way or another, this particular monster actually takes on traditional dragon designs instead, seen throughout many types of fantasy media out there, meaning that this is as traditional an Elder Dragon can get in terms of its overall design. Alongside this, with regards to the legend behind Fatalis, it is believed that this monster has enough firepower to wipe out an entire kingdom in the span of a single night. So the combination of its unique design being more traditional in a sense, plus the fact that it has the ability to wipe out an entire kingdom, makes the Fatalis stand out in terms of legend and appearance throughout the entire series. Having said this, however, even though this creature is considered to be legendary, it is not necessarily the case when it comes to its overall age. This monster might not be all that much older than some of the hunters that we see between the old and the new world, mostly because of the fact that it is believed that a Fatalis can actually grow into a full adult after being born within mere hours. So we don't exactly know the age of the regular Fatalis that we are about to face in Iceborne as of this moment in time. So just keep that in mind. Even though the creature is considered to be legendary, its age is questionable at this point. Up next, let's take a look at the variation of Fatalis with a crimson hue across its body, simply dubbed as Crimson Fatalis. It is believed that Crimson Fatalis was the original Black Dragon that wiped out the entirety of Shrade Kingdom thousands of years ago and made its home in Castle Shrade. However, due to a recent event causing the monster to basically be forced out of Castle Shrade and migrate into volcanic regions, the Fatalis became so angered by this event that the monster's power began to increase and its skin started to take on a crimson hue due to its constant rage. With this monster's capability of increasing its power with its rage in mind, this makes the Crimson Fatalis a deadly adversary by comparison to the regular version of the monster. Crimson Fatalis' anger can actually be seen as well during the G-rank hunt against this monster in Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. In this iteration of Crimson Fatalis, it is believed that the monster has become so angered to the point that it just wants to explode within Ingle Isle, meaning that this monster just wants to wipe out everything in terms of living creatures across the entirety of that particular region. If the monster is capable of wiping out an entire kingdom in the span of a single night as a regular Fatalis, that more than likely means that Crimson Fatalis is capable of wiping out perhaps an entire region of the old world in the span of a single day. no one truly knows the power of Crimson Fatalis at this point because much of the records of this Elder Dragon has been burned away by the guild, much like that with the rest of the Black Dragons throughout Monster Hunter. The final iteration of Fatalis that we are about to observe here is one considered to be so legendary and so ancient that this monster was considered to be the very first Fatalis to have ever existed. This creature takes on a drastically different appearance in comparison to the other two monsters that we have seen thus far, having shimmering white scales across its body and lustrous fur covering around its head and neck. This creature also summons a completely different element by comparison to the other two monsters. It summons lightning with the elemental properties of dragon. This is none other than the White Fatalis, the ancestral dragon. In terms of the overall legend behind the White Fatalis, when we speak about the legend of the Black Dragon, where meat is eaten and bone is crunched and blood is sucked up dry, as well as talking about the Wyvern of Destiny, we don't necessarily talk about the regular Fatalis or the Crimson iteration. Instead, we talk about White Fatalis instead. This monster is involved in the ancient civilization conflict where it nearly caused the ancient civilization to go extinct and their technology to regress down to more medieval times. This was the monster involved in basically nearly wiping out all of humanity across the world. By comparison to the other two monsters that we have seen thus far, the power of Crimson Fatalis might be able to wipe out an entire region of the old world, but White Fatalis can actually cause an entire species of humans to go extinct in mere days. So this monster is the deadliest of all of the Elder Dragons that we have spoken about as of right now. In terms of its overall capabilities, this monster instead summons red lightning with the elemental properties of dragon. So this pretty much shows how much the Fatalis has evolved throughout the years in comparison to the other two monsters, making this creature so ancient by design. And that is pretty much all three variations of Fatalis throughout the entirety of the series, collectively known as the Fatalis Trio by the Monster Hunter community. Hopefully you have found this video interesting in taking a look on what makes each Fatalis unique from one another in terms of their overall design and the legend behind them, as well as their power. In terms of what we are about to experience within Monster Hunter World Iceborne, we are only going to see a portion of this monster's power because of the fact that we are focusing mostly with the regular version of Fatalis coming up as the next title DLC update within Monster Hunter World Iceborne. In future Monster Hunter games, the New World Hunters may get to experience all three variations of the monster to get the full package experience of fighting the Fatalis throughout the entirety of the series. With all of that being said, what do you think about the Fatalis throughout Monster Hunter? Is this your first time hunting the monster within Monster Hunter World Iceborne, or have you actually experienced this monster in previous Monster Hunter games? Let us know in the comments below what you think about Fatalis throughout the entirety of Monster Hunter. Now with all of that being said, if you enjoyed these videos, please consider leaving a like on the video itself and subscribing to the channel, as well as hitting that bell icon so you can go ahead and catch up on any future Monster Hunter content that I might be doing or any other games that I might be playing in future. Until then, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks ever so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Onward and upward.